Hey, it's been a while since Whalingcity.info has put a bright light on the shenanigans that our city council is legendary for. The term business as usual and corruption is usually interchangeable, and it's either good or bad depending upon your perspective. There are several tools that the city council uses on a regular basis to get away with their form of government, which is usually counter to good government. This is not new. The usual excuse or excuses for this behavior are very similar to the ones that former Councillor George Rogers provided on Ken Pittman's show on WBSM last week. It's just not efficient to do things into the public. During the coronation of John Saunders for City Council President, they skipped over the whole public discussion part and went straight to appointing Councillor Saunders. Public discussion takes time and are inefficient. Public discussion in its proper form is also inefficient. It's recorded in perpetuity for future use. What took place at the City Council, on the very first City Council, when Councillor John Saunders was coronated as the President of the City Council of the City of New Bedford, was a great deal of discussion before the meeting. What took place was a good deal of discussion out of the public eye, and a consensus was reached. And then they put on a 30-minute show for public consumption. This is what the City Council has done, and this behavior is potentially criminal under Massachusetts law. It definitely is not good government. Hey, let's watch these couple of slides I put together. They're cheesy, but they're effective.
This behavior is illegal under the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law. Mass General Law, Chapter 39, Section 23B, handles how public bodies are supposed to do business. The second paragraph clearly states, no quorum of a governmental body shall meet in private for the purpose of deciding on or deliberating towards a decision on any matter except as provided by this section. As provided by this section specifically refers to items allowed to be discussed in executive sessions. There is nothing about electing a city council chair that would allow the triggering of an executive session. Since it was obvious and clear that the decision to place Councillor John Saunders in the New Bedford City Council chair position was predetermined, all councillors participated in this violation of the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law.
Let's watch how this charade is played out and see if there are any clues to the back-end game. First up is the nomination process. Councillor Jane Gonzalez will call for nominations for City Council President. Brian Gomes stands up and makes his nomination for John Saunders, which is quickly followed up by a second from freshman Councillor Martins of Ward 2. Jane Gonzalez then calls for a second nomination for City Council President, and instead of a second nomination, she receives a motion to close the nominations by Ward 4 Councillor, freshman Ward 4 Councillor Duarte, which is then immediately followed up with Jane Gonzalez prodding freshman Councillor Daner from Ward 3 to close the nominations. At this point, the video begins. Let's watch this. This ought to be entertaining.
At this time, I'll call for nominations for the office of Council President for the year 2009. Councilor Gomes.
Madam President, at this time I nominate John Saunders.
Second.
Second. Motion by Councilor Gomes, seconded by Councilor Martins. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations from the floor?
Motion to close nominations.
Motion to close nominations made by Councilor Duarte. Is there a second? I'm sorry, are you seconding, Councilor? Yes. Councilor Dana seconds the nomination. Seconds the motion to close nominations.
No, there was nothing particularly out of ordinary about the nomination process, except for the fact that there was only one nominee, and all the nominators were non-controversial council members. Brian Gomes is considered the people's counselor, and if Brian Gomes says something is okay, It must be okay, right? Right. The other three were all freshmen. It's unlike Counselor Morad and Counselor Al's and Counselor Al's, Lawrence to sit by and Morad to sit by and do nothing and be quiet. But they must have had their reasons, and I'm sure whatever that reason is, they're going to defend somewhere down the line. It's going to be up to you to decide whether or not that reason is good or bad or just plain silly.
Councilor Gomes on the question.
Madam President, thank you very much. And this is a great honor this evening to be in the position that I am. While some may feel a little different, I'm going to explain why I nominated Councilor Saunders this evening.
Already, right in the beginning, Councilor Gomes has already admitted that he knows that people are going to question his selection, his nomination of John Saunders. Or as he puts it, people are going to feel differenter. Differenter. This is very differenter. Is that in the dictionary? Now let's watch Councilor Gomes offer some questionable excuses as to why he wishes John Saunders to be City Council President.
Tonight I nominate John for the simple reason that he's a man of his word. And this might be not scripted, by the way. I was given no script to get up here this evening. I get up here on my own merits, and most of the people of the city know me and know that I stand on my own 2 feet. Nobody bends my arm, nobody makes me say anything, do anything of the sort. I said to him the other night, John, no matter what is in the forefront or what has happened in the past year, if you are to take that seat as president, you've got to make me a promise that it's about the people and it's about us as 11 different members of this council, to move this city forward, to do what is right, to do what we can to ease the burden of what is happening to people. There is no time right now, Madam President, for any type of nonsense or anything else, but for us to get the job done, because people are depending on it. There's so many people that are in trouble, and they're depending on it. I want you to bring that leadership to the chair. If you can bring that leadership to the chair, John, I'm going to ride this ride with you. No matter what the controversy is, no matter what is being said out there, this is what the job entails, and this is what you have to do.
Hey, now that John Saunders has been nominated and elected to be the City Council President, we're now going to watch him make some snide remarks towards the other media outlets that reported that he was using a script.
Thank you, everybody. I was wondering if Brian was reading my script that I had written and maybe got a glimpse at it.
It's now for some really good entertainment. John Saunders does his best to stumble his way through a thank you very much for coronating me to City Council President yet again for the 5th time. He feels special.
My first order of business tonight is to say thank you to you. Thank you to all of you for putting your confidence in me to be the City Council President for 2009. But more than that, thank you to all of you for the service that you do for this city. Whatever our differences throughout the course of the meetings and whatever our differences are over policy decisions or theory, we have shown over the past year that there have been unprecedented mutual respects for each other. We have conducted ourselves here as true professionals, but because we know that the pressure that is placed on us, and to a certain extent onto our families as we prepare and perform our jobs here in the City Council and the duties that we have. Over the past several years, we have shown true concern for each other, and I can tell you that I know I can rely on all of you for support during difficult times, whether professionally or personally. It is a source of great comfort and security for me. Being a city council can be a very difficult and trying, but it is mostly rewarding. I am proud of my service to the city, and I am equally proud of yours. You should be proud of yours. Our citizens are fortunate to have such a group of dedicated individuals who serve with such honesty and dignity. Honesty and dignity. honesty, and dignity. Honesty and dignity. This is an unparalleled 5th term for me as your president. But when you've been here as long as I have, 5 times is really not that many. It's only about once every 5 years. I have enjoyed each and every term that I have served as your president. There are 6 of you that have not yet had the opportunity to serve the City Council President, and I can tell you that I have loved to watch councilors get voted in as the president for the very first time. And I'll tell you, nothing was more enjoyable, Wendy, than we watched Leo, and it was certainly a show. So why again have I sought to take the chair after serving 4 times before? The answer is quite simple. At no time in my entire tenure as a city councilor have I ever witnessed more critical need for experience in the president's chair. The facts are daunting. While foreclosure crisis is well documented throughout the nation, it hits our city harder than most urban areas, shrinking our property values at hyper speed. Our citizens are paying higher taxes than ever before. State aid to assist municipalities is under siege. The disastrous financial markets not only depleted our pension systems funds, but also drained private pension plans for those ready to retire who are depending on their 401ks. The receding economy washes away jobs, leaving families wondering how they will pay electric bills, never mind send their children to college. And most troubling is our city government, faced with a fiscally irresponsible administration that has not only had no idea how to solve the city's financial problems, but also does not realize how badly it has helped to create them. You don't need me to tell you the facts you already know. You also know that I will give it to you straight about the financial status of this city. I've been doing it for several months now. I won't say it tonight, but I don't fear the days that lie ahead. I am confident that we have the strength and the wisdom to begin repairing the damage to prepare us for an era of new hope and new opportunity. I believe I offer the experience to guide us in a sound decision-making experience, to demand fiscal responsibility and restore fiscal stability. I have the experience to know the truth from the distortions and fabrications. But most of all, I believe that I have the experience to demonstrate the ability to compromise and to build coalitions, to get agreements with such compromise as needed. But I also have the experience to provide toughness of this city council when the principle requires it. I must again remind all of us that we have an important responsibility in local government. Part of our responsibility is taking tough votes. Not every vote is an easy one. Some votes may not go against the direction of the forceful political winds, and we may feel the heat and criticism of that result. But that's okay. That's what we signed up for. the responsibility to do what is right, but not necessarily popular. As I've said over and over, I wish every vote here were a popular one, but you know what? They're not. But that's the responsibility that comes with the title of city councilor. We as councilors, we make a promise to the people to take responsibility seriously, and I intend on keeping that promise. Thank you.
Now, did we witness a violation of the open meeting law? Probably, but it would be hard to make a legal case using nothing but preliminary scripts or pre-written speeches and the lack of a second nomination. It's obvious that this was all set up ahead of time and then a show was put on for the public to consume. It's not legal, it's not ethical, but it's New Bedford. You know, the coronation of a city council president is of little consequence for the city of New Bedford. It's mostly for show and for meeting organization, as the city council is a body that's supposed to talk with a single voice. What you did witness was a legislative body moving in essentially the same direction, offering new ideas and no new leadership. Sort of like a bunch of seaweed floating on a current in Buzzards Bay. Looking back over New Bedford's recent parliamentary history of no change and lackluster accomplishments can yet lead to more of the same and the same result. Look out your window. Do you like what you see? You know, President Obama won on a platform of change, and New Bedford voters love the idea. However, when it comes to our city council, change is something that we don't see very often. And even if we do see change, somehow or other the changelings turn into the same old, such as the comedy of New Bedford Politics. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. For the next year or so, City Views is going to closely watch what the City Council is doing, and we will show you how they violate Massachusetts open meeting laws and how the business of being a city councilor gets done that is usually counter to the goodwill of the citizens in New Bedford. This is Dave Gould. Later.